Day 42, or is it 43? I have lost count. The storm has passed, but it took everything with it. My ship, the pale horizon, is no longer a queen of the sea. She is a floating coffin. The mast is snapped, the sails are rags, and I am the only ghost left to haunt these wooden halls. Welcome to the end of the world. November 13th, 1750, 1 a.m. I cannot sleep. The tilt of the floor makes it impossible to lie down. I stood up, my boots sliding slightly on the wet planks. Scuff, slide. I walked to the chart table. I unrolled the large map of the Atlantic. Crinkle, rustle, snap. The parchment is stiff and stained with water rings. I picked up my brass compass. It feels heavy and cold. I tried to calculate our position. Click, clack. But it is a fool's errand. The storm blew us miles off course. I traced the line of our journey with a dirty fingernail. It ends in the middle of nowhere. We are ghosts on a paper ocean. 2:30 a.m. Hunger is a dull ache in my belly, a constant companion. I limped over to the sea chest where I keep the rations. The hinges are rusted shut. I had to pry it open with my knife. Grind, squeak, pop. Inside, there are only 3 pieces of hardtack left. Ship's biscuits, rock hard and infested. I picked one up. Tap, tap. I tapped it on the table to knock the weevils out. I broke a small piece off. Snap. It sounded like a gunshot in the quiet room. I chewed slowly. Crunch, crunch. It tastes of sawdust and despair. It scrapes my throat as it goes down. 3:45 a.m. I stumbled towards the corner where the cargo sample lies. A small chest of gold coins and spices we collected from the Indies. I kicked the lid open. Thud. The gold glitters even in the dim candlelight. Jingle, clink. I picked up a handful of doubloons. They are heavy, beautiful, useless. I let them slip through my fingers. Chink, chink, clatter. A king's ransom falling onto the floor. I laughed softly, a dry, rattling sound. I would trade it all, I whispered to the empty room. I would trade every ounce of gold for a single cup of sweet rain. 4:30 a.m. The wind is picking up outside. Whew. It whistles through the cracks in the window frame like a flute made of bone. It sounds like voices. I swear I heard the boatswain whistling his favorite tune. I turned around quickly. "Jones?" I called out. Silence. Just the creaking of the ship's ribs. Groan, creak. The ship is singing its own funeral song. My mind is playing tricks on me. The isolation is a poison, slower than thirst, but just as deadly. 5:15 a.m. I sat back at the desk. My gums are bleeding. Scurvy is setting in. I can feel my teeth loosening in my jaw. I touched one with my tongue. It wobbles. I took a rag and wiped my mouth. Rub, rub. The logbook is waiting. I must write. If someone finds this ship years from now, they must know we didn't give up. We just ran out of time. I dipped the quill again. Dip, swirl. The ink is getting thick, drying up like my blood. November 13th, 1750, 6:30 a.m. The sun is rising. It should be a sign of hope, but to a dying man, it is an enemy. The light cuts through the dirty window of the cabin, sharp and blinding. It brings no warmth, only a preview of the scorching heat to come. I shielded my eyes with a shaking hand. The dust motes dancing in the beam looked like tiny stars. I blew out the candle. Poof! A thin trail of gray smoke rose up, smelling of burnt wick. The darkness was kinder. 8 a.m. I must go above deck. I need to see the sky. I grabbed my cane, a piece of splintered oak rail. Clack, thud. I walked towards the cabin door. It is jammed, swollen by the damp. I threw my shoulder against it. Thump, creak, crack. It flew open, hitting the wall. I stepped out into the narrow companionway. The smell of the sea is stronger here, pure salt. I grabbed the railing of the stairs. Grip. I hauled myself up, one heavy step at a time. Step, grunt, step, wheeze. My legs feel like lead. 9:15 a.m. I emerged onto the main deck. The sight broke my heart all over again. The pale horizon is a ruin. The main mast is snapped in half, jagged wood pointing to the sky like a broken finger. Creak, groan. Ropes and rigging lie tangled on the deck like dead snakes. The white canvas sails are tattered rags, flapping uselessly in the gentle breeze. Flap, flap, snap. I walked over to the ship's wheel. It is spinning lazily, unconnected to anything. I placed my hand on the wood. "I'm sorry, old girl," I whispered. "I failed you." 10:30 a.m. The horizon is a cruel line. Blue water meets blue sky. 360 degrees of nothing. I leaned against the rail, staring out. My eyes burned from the glare. Blink, rub. I imagined I saw a sail in the distance, a white speck. I squinted. My heart hammered against my ribs. Thump, 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 thump. "Ship! Ahoy!" I tried to shout, but it came out as a croak. I rubbed my eyes again. The speck was gone. Just a white cap on a wave. Just a mirage born of desperation. 11:45 a.m. The sun is high now. It is beating down on my head like a hammer. The planks of the deck are heating up. I can feel the heat through the soles of my boots. My tongue is a piece of sandpaper in my mouth. I licked my cracked lips. Salt. Everything is salt. I looked down at the ocean. It looks so cool, so inviting. It whispers to me. Splash, hush, splash. Come down, it says. Drink. But I know that water is death. To drink it is to go mad. 12:30 p.m. I cannot stay up here. The sun is baking me alive. I turned back towards the hatch. I tripped over a coil of rope. Stumble. Thud. I fell to my knees on the hard wood. Pain shot up my leg, but I didn't cry out. I don't have the moisture for tears. I stayed there for a moment, on my hands and knees, staring at a rusted nail in the deck. This is what it comes to. A captain crawling on his own ship. I forced myself up. Grunt. Scrape. I must go back to the dark. Back to the logbook. November 13th, 1750. 1:30 p.m. I am back in my chair. The heat followed me down. It hangs in the cabin like a thick, wet wool blanket. My head is pounding. Thud, thud, thud. It feels like a drum beating behind my eyes. I closed them, but the spinning sensation made me sick. I tried to swallow, but my throat has closed up. It feels like swallowing shards of glass. Gulp, cough, wheeze. I rested my head on the cool wood of the desk, just for a moment, just to stop the world from tilting. 3 p.m. I woke up to the sound of laughter. Ha, ha, ha. It was loud and hearty, the sound of silverware clinking on china plates. Clink, scrape, ting. I sat up, confused. "Jones? Smith?" I whispered. The sounds were coming from the mess hall next door. I could smell roasted pork. I could smell fresh bread and ale. My mouth watered, painful and instant. They are eating without me. How could they? 3:15 p.m. I pushed myself up. I stumbled towards the door. "Save some for the captain," I shouted, or I tried to. It came out as a whisper. I threw the door open. Bang! Silence. The mess hall is empty, dusty, dark. A rat scurried across the empty table. Skitter, squeak. No roast pork, no ale, just the creaking of the ship. Creak, groan. The laughter faded into the sound of the wind. I stood there, swaying, tears finally leaking from my dry eyes. I am going mad. The hunger is playing tricks on my soul. 4:45 p.m. I retreated to my cabin. I cannot trust my ears anymore. I cannot trust my eyes. I sat on the floor leaning against my sea chest. I pulled out my dress uniform, the blue coat with gold braiding. Rustle, swish. It smells of lavender and home. I ran my fingers over the brass buttons. They are cold. If I am to die, I will die as a captain, not a beggar. I struggled to take off my ragged shirt. Peel, rip. The fabric stuck to my sweaty skin. I pulled on the heavy coat. Slide, button. It is too big for me now. I have shrunk. 5:30 p.m. The sun is beginning to dip again. The cabin is turning orange and purple. I found an empty wine bottle rolling on the floor. Roll, clink. This will be my messenger. I pulled the cork out with my teeth. Pop. I need to write the final entry. Not in the logbook, but on a loose sheet. Something that fits in the bottle. I crawled back to the desk. My hand is shaking so bad I can barely hold the quill. 6 p.m. To whoever finds this, I started writing. Scritch, scritch. The sound is loud in the twilight. To whoever finds this, we fought the sea, and the sea won. My name is Captain James Thorne. Tell my wife I did not suffer. A lie, a kind lie. Tell her I fell asleep dreaming of her garden. I paused. A fly buzzed around my head. Buzz, buzz. It landed on the paper. I watched it rubbing its legs together. Life. Even here there is life. I blew it away. Whoosh. November 13th, 1750. 6:30 p.m. I finished the letter. My signature is shaky, barely legible. James. That is all. I didn't have the strength for Thorne. I waited for the ink to dry. Blow. Whoosh. I rolled the paper up tight. Crinkle. Roll. Roll. It looks like a small scroll. I pulled a loose thread from my uniform and tied it around the paper. Snap. Knot. It is a small package to hold a man's entire life. 7 p.m. I picked up the green glass bottle. I slid the rolled paper inside. Slide. Plop. It hit the bottom with a hollow sound. Now to seal it. I cannot let the ocean in. I lit the candle again. Strike. Flare. I took a stick of red sealing wax from the drawer. I held it over the flame. Sizzle. Drip. Drip. The hot wax fell onto the cork, smelling of pine and rosin. I watched the red drops cover the cork, sealing it shut forever. I pressed my signet ring into the soft wax. Squish. The Thorne family crest. A final mark of authority. 7:30 p.m. I stood up. The room spun, but I held on to the desk. I walked to the large stern windows at the back of the cabin. The glass is dirty with salt spray. I undid the latch. Click, clack. I pushed the heavy window open. Bang. The night air rushed in, cool and damp. The ocean is black now, reflecting the stars. It looks peaceful. It looks like eternity. 7:45 p.m. I held the bottle out the window. My hand felt heavy. "Go," I whispered. "Find her." I let go. Splash. It hit the water. I watched it bob up and down in the wake of the ship. The green glass caught a glint of moonlight. Then it drifted away into the darkness. I watched it until my eyes watered. It is gone. My story is out there now. I am no longer needed. 8:30 p.m. I closed the window. Thump. Latch. The cabin feels quieter now. Empty. The purpose that kept me going is finished. I slumped back into my chair. Creak. Sigh. My body's giving up. The adrenaline is fading, leaving only a cold numbness in my fingers and toes. I looked at the candle. It has burned down to a stub. Only an hour or so of light left. 9 p.m. I am not hungry anymore. The thirst has changed from a sharp pain to a dry, dusty feeling. My throat feels like old parchment. I leaned my head back. I can hear the ship groaning. Creak, groan, snap. It sounds like a lullaby now, a slow, rhythmic rocking. Rock, creak, rock. It is comforting. I closed my eyes, just for a moment. November 13th, 1750, 10 p.m. The pain is gone. It is strange. My legs, which were heavy as lead, now feel weightless. The burning in my throat has vanished. I feel warm, a gentle, golden warmth spreading from my chest to my fingertips. Is this the fever, or is it the end? It doesn't matter. It is a relief. The ship is rocking me gently. Sway, creak, sway, like a mother rocking a cradle. I am floating. 11 p.m. I can smell something. Not the salt, not the rot. I smell roses. Sniff, sniff. Yes, wild roses and damp earth after a summer rain. It is the scent of Eliza's garden in Kent. I opened my eyes. The cabin is blurry. The shadows are taking shapes. That coat rack, it looks like the old oak tree in our yard, and the sound of the waves, splash, hush. It sounds like the wind blowing through the leaves. I am not at sea anymore. I am home. 11:30 p.m. The candle is fighting its last battle. The flame is jumping, sputtering in the pool of hot wax. Fzzz, pop. The light flares up one last time, bright and yellow. I saw her, standing by the door. Eliza. She is wearing her white dress. She is smiling. She is holding her hand out to me. "James," she whispers. Her voice is clearer than the ocean. "Come inside. The tea is ready." I tried to lift my hand to reach her. It is too heavy, but I smiled back. 11:45 p.m. The candle died. Hiss! Smoke filled the dark room. But I am not afraid of the dark anymore. The moonlight is enough. It spills across the floor like a silver river. I closed my eyes. I can feel her hand in mine now, warm, soft. The ship is fading away. The hunger is forgotten. The thirst is quenched. Midnight. My breath is shallow. One breath, then a long pause. The ocean is singing to me, a deep, low hum. "Rest now, Captain. Your watch is ended.
The storm is over. I let go. I let myself sink into the warmth, into the garden, into the peace. Silence. Sound of one final, slow heartbeat, then nothing but the ocean. Outro. Very slow, soft and fading. The captain sleeps. The ship drifts on under the stars, carrying him on his final journey. There is no more Cain, only the endless lullaby of the sea. You are safe now too. Let the waves wash over your worries. Let the darkness hold you. Drift away. Sleep well.